Where's that here? All right. So FY 2027 IAA advanced by Senate Intelligence Committee in May 2026. A more prominent Israel related provision appears in the Senate's IAA section 4615 or similar, advanced 14-3. This is section 2622 titled United States Israel Intelligence Sharing Enhancement. Key elements: requires the President, via the Director of National Intelligence and, as needed, the Secretary of Defense, to expand and enhance intelligence sharing with Israel on a broad range of Middle East-related topics, such as terrorism, threats from Iran, non-state actors, sanctions, invasion, whatever. Prohibits suspension, reduction, or limitation of such sharing, except based on a specific and identifiable national security concern determined by the President. Any such exception would require a detailed report to Congress within 15 days, including reasons, categories of information affected, and an assessment of impacts on regional security. Okay. And the last one, just my post-studying. This comes from the health ranger, Mike Adams. Israel is bombing Beirut on the same day that the U.S. and Iran are supposed to sign a memorandum of understanding. And that was this morning. And you're not going to hear about it because it's Trump's birthday. We got a Goyslop UFC event going on, which I should probably keep updated on, because and if you're going to see false flag, this is a pretty good. Oh, geez. So Hokik must have won, huh? Even though he was drunk. What the fuck? All right. Well, good. Doesn't seem like anything major has happened. Thank God. Thank God. That'll clear us up on Israel news for the week. Let's get into the Pride pedos and Epstein. Jeez, we've already went through one side, huh? All right. Pride wearing diaper. These people are fucking disgusting, dude. Okay, Charlie calls it, and here we go. This comes from Gays Against Groomers. See, you can be gay and not be part of the Pride movement, okay? Because you don't know what you stand for. Can you see that? Can you see this? That is a grown fucking man wearing a diaper that he cut his ass out of his fucking jeans just to show that he's that woke. And Gays Against Groomers said this is exactly why Pride Fest is not for kids or sane gay adults anymore. A grown man wearing a diaper with little kid cartoon characters was spotted at Milwaukee's Pride Fest, where all ages were welcome. It's all about love and acceptance. I ain't accepting that. There you go. There you go. Well, we're not coming after your kids. Really? Nickelodeon produced LGBTQ plus pedophile ABC 2-3 drag queen content for Blue's Clues and You, for Blue's Clues and You, a preschool show targeting toddlers and young children, ages 2 to 5. We're not grooming your kids. We're not after your kids. Yeah, you are. You are sick and disgusting and after our kids. Yeah, I just got an update from geopolitical news, and the Strait of Hormuz is not open. In case you fell for it for the 46th time. Colorado pedo protector. This comes from the Hodge twins. Colorado AG candidate Michael Dougherty under fire. As a Boulder DA, he declined to prosecute a man who admitted to possessing CP, child pornography, and brought dildos intending to have sex with a 13-year-old. Dougherty is running for Colorado Attorney General. Election in 2 weeks. And I'm sure he'll win. Let's see. Is that... Okay. Tax dollars. Okay. Targeting kids. Yeah. Okay. There's a little bit more on targeting kids. This comes from at Not Woke Now on X. And she says, why does the LGBTQ community insist on having drag performers interact with children? This is in Park Ridge, Illinois. Fucking gross, dude. Yep, kids handing her wands. Yeah, go give her a $1 bill. Yeah. So you can just real quick about the data centers. So you can just gyrate in front of the kids, and you know they'll give you ones like you're a good little stripper. Teaching children about not only the strip club, but men can be women. We're not after your kids. That's not what this movement is about. Then why does every fucking Pride festival have something like this? Please tell me that, genius. Please tell me why then. Why else? Why else would you have grown men dressed as women gyrating in front of kids and getting paid dollar bills to do so? Yeah, you're after the kids. Anyway, tax dollars to push division. Where's that at? There you go. Mayor Zoran Mamdani hosted a Pride event at New York City Hall, where he announced a $15 million investment in gender-affirming care services. Why does it do this shit? All right, here you go.
Y'all hear me all right? I'm Peppermint, and I am so excited to be here for Mayor Mamdani's very first ever New York City Pride celebration as mayor.
I don't even see the American flag up there. Oh, there it is, way in the back.
As a first step, my administration has made a $15 million investment in gender-affirming care over the next 2 years. And we will continue to use every tool.
Yeah, but you can't even take care of your roads. Can't even do snow removal. Can't even, yeah, whatever, dude. Here's what Pride has given us. Oh my, I got a lot here. There we go. This comes from Mama Bear's Project on Instagram. Pride Month is here. Let's look at what this movement has given us. Sexually graphic books in schools, grown adult males in dresses dancing provocatively, gyrating for children, lying to people about being able to change their sex, mutilating children, turning kids into lifelong pharmaceutical customers, teachers transitioning children without parental knowledge, men in women's change rooms, female athletes losing life-changing scholarships, medals, and awards, silencing and intimidating women, surging mental illness, confusing children, and stealing their innocence. That's what Pride Month celebrates. Can it just be over? Let's see here. Tell me this isn't recruiting. Okay, this comes from the Hodge twins. Drag queens perform sexually themed dances with children while also taking cash tips from them at a family-friendly LGBTQ plus pedophile 5678 Pride event in Round Rock, Texas. Yep, gyrating again. What in the fuck, dude? Yeah, I don't care about how much hate I get for calling this shit out. Like, you don't even know what you're a part of, you sick fucks. Trans, how they created the problem. Here you go. Because it's something that's ran by these motherfuckers, and he's about to tell you exactly what I've been telling you. Oh, what? Oh, they took it down. Oh, here we go. What are you talking about, Zeph? How could a small group of people possibly try and take over an entire planet?
We ruined the planet, we dispossessed, imprisoned, and slaughtered First Nations people, we enforced gender roles, we systemized rape, racism, misogyny, transphobia, homophobia, ableism, classism, and unsustainable food industries. We allowed fossil fuel companies to operate our elected officials like ventriloquist dummies from hell, raping our planet for economic gain. We turned the prisons and military into big business. We sold our land, our resources, our water table, and the port of carbon to the Chinese, who we're now in a trade war with. We empowered the church to such a degree it's now just a tax haven for pedophiles, with the ability to manipulate government policy and mandate legislation on women's bodies without their consent. And we bred dogs to a superficial aesthetic level so they can no longer breathe. But pugs are so cute the way they suffocate when they walk. Their eyes are pointing in different directions because they're asking both owners to kill them.
Look how proud you are. Look how proud you are to be completely fucked up.
Put it down. You know, this said hand symbol that we seem to see.
Yeah, the Illuminati symbol, which in the opening ceremony, which I'll get into towards the end of the show here, the opening ceremony at the World Cup. Yep, the lead singer or whatever band threw one of these out. Are you fucking serious? They're not afraid to hide it anymore. We are so close to this shit hitting the fan. If you're not hearing alarm bells, I don't know what to tell you. How is he not in handcuffs? Let's see here. This will be our intro to the little Epstein section. I don't have a whole lot this week. But Bill Gates, this comes from RT. Bill Gates hounded by reporters and protesters as he walks out of the very quiet and closed door Epstein hearing, where he doesn't have to be under oath. It's just a formality, you know? But I will say that everybody is calling him out on being a pedophile. That's good. It's not just that. He's also guilty of crimes against humanity for COVID and his mosquitoes and countless other things. countless other things. How was he still able to walk in public? How? That's how. Bannon and Epstein.
And because
this comes from me, but from at Real Alex Jones and Jay Dyer. Let's just listen to what Jones has to say here. Yes.
Because Metzger had already figured it out. I almost did it months ago, the Epstein stuff, and I was holding off to get more information. But I got approached by the White House when Trump first got in to work with the people that had created Q, and it was Steve Bannon and these people under him. And then I was told about 8 months later, oh, it got taken away from us. It got co-opted by 4chan HN. So watch out now. And I was like, well, they really promoted it, so that's fine. I don't know if they were getting me to come out against it, so I thought they would be attacked by it. They controlled it. I'm not saying Bannon's bad. I don't know. But now we know Epstein was involved in the founding of it. It doesn't look good. And it's all very esoteric. People love that type of stuff. That's not my bailiwick, but I know you've really studied Q and all that. But when I'm telling you this is what I was told. This was the White House. So the earlier stuff would have some stuff that was actually exclusive to it, that credibility to it. Kind of a big deal. And I just felt now was the time, because now there's new permutations of the Q-like thought processes out there. I thought I would want to get your take before you shift gears to the subjects you were going to cover about what an esoteric type Q movement is, a Project Trust type program we saw in Tsarist Russia, and then what you make of me, because I think it's pretty much people figured it out now.
Yeah, Project Trust.
Confidence is here because I found Epstein was involved. I've been thinking about the fact I have a responsibility to go ahead and at least say they try to recruit me into it. What do you make of that, J-Doc?
Yeah, it sounds like your analysis was correct. I said within 2 weeks of Q that I thought this was probably going to go in the direction of something like disinformation, because you would see some true information and then it started getting crazier and crazier. It started turning into this kind of, boomer decoder ring religious situation where if I just wait for the next drop and if Trump wears a red tie and I connect that to the astrological charts of the Pleiades, it just turned. Let me show you.
Like JFK Jr. is going to be at the Plaza. Yeah. I said I believe it was at least a month ago. It might have been 2 months ago. Is Bannon Q? And I guess it seems like he's at least half of Q, with Epstein being the other half. You don't get the exclusive interviews. You don't get all the alone time with Epstein without partaking in it as well. So I'm not saying that Bannon is a pedophile, but I'm saying the case is pretty strong against him. Anyway, last little bit on Epstein here. Oops, went too far. Oh, whoops, that's on. I'm in the wrong section, dumbass. Okay, here we are. So, Karina Shuliak was Epstein's last girlfriend. She used to remove children's teeth so that they couldn't bite. She's still living somewhere on Virgin Islands, practicing dentistry. Yeah. And of course she'll walk. Of course. Of course she'll walk. Nothing will even come of it because nobody knows about her. We're too busy covering a cut and dry black on white murder that's more important. That's more important than these people that run child pedophile rings, child trafficking rings, of course. Anyway, let's get into our surveillance section. Anthropic pride. Here we go. This comes from Anthropic itself. Anthropic AI. Our internal data shows Claude is accelerating AI development, a possible path to recursive self-improvement, or AI autonomously building a more capable successor. It's happening faster than we thought, and the implications deserve greater attention. So Anthropic itself is getting nervous about how fast AI is developing itself. Coming soon to a McDonald's near you. This is Archie AI robot at McDonald's. McDonald's is testing a new AI-powered robot to take customer orders in drive-thru.
AI-powered robot to take customer orders in drive-thru. Reports evorelic.com. Welcome to McDonald's. How can I help you today? Hi, a Big Mac meal, please. One Big Mac meal. Confirming your order. McDonald's is testing a new AI-powered robot to take customer orders in drive-thru. Reports evorelic.com.
Yeah, so all entry-level jobs, like I said 6 months ago, are going to be replaced by AI.
A new AI-powered robot to take customer orders in drive-thru.
Yeah, so coming soon, coming very soon, you'll be giving your order to an AI robot rather than the 15, 16-year-old that's looking to get their first job and make a little bit of money while they still go to school. So what are these kids going to do? What are they going to do? How are they going to learn anything about a work ethic? How are they going to learn anything to get experience, to get all the jobs that you're going to need experience to get? It's not going to happen. So I guess the millennials are probably the last bit that's going to even have jobs. Because they want to roll out the universal basic income, so you have to follow all the rules, the digital ID, the social credit score, all that shit. And AI is going to steamroll us right into that. And you just heard what I said about Anthropic AI. It's moving so fast, it alarms them even. Okay? This is a real thing, and something you need to be aware about and talk about. Don't just keep it to yourself. So, I covered a few weeks ago that all vehicles released in 2027 have to have all the new biometric cameras and everything that watches you while you drive. So if you're tired, if you're angry, if you're hanging over a little bit from the night before, anything along those lines, the gas pedal of the vehicle doesn't work. Okay? So you think because you have an older vehicle, you got maybe one sitting, waiting to give to your kids or something in the future. Well, you're not going to be able to find parts for those old cars anymore because they're burning down junkyards all around the United States. Here we go. We got, I believe it tells me where they are.
This is the belt.
I'll pull you up closer for this one.
Junkyard. In 6 weeks. The mysterious
Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Now let me ask you a question.
Pensacola, Florida.
Take off all the older vehicles that are on the road, and you didn't want
Southgate, California.
to find parts. If you were back and say, you know what, we don't want all these older vehicles on our roads anymore. We're going
Opelika, Florida.
We're going to make you buy cars with sensors. We're going to do all this stuff.
Plantsville, Connecticut.
Stop people from continuing to keep their old cars. Maybe burning all the junkyards?
Canton, Ohio.
That couldn't be it, right? Like, that's just too smart a thinking, right? That's conspiracy, right? This is just an accident, right? No coincidences, right? How would you feel about Negroes moving in here?
And all of those were in the last 2 weeks. Okay? Last 2 weeks. Every single one of those. I'm sure there's more, but that's just what I got on that. I'll keep that close. I will Oh, is there something I'm going to take downstairs with me? I don't want to write all over the... Here we go. Junkyard updates. Okay. Data center water use. I got people coming onto my stuff. Data centers they're building them and making their own electricity, and they just recycle the water and it goes back into the system. And no, you fucking retard. They could. They easily could. I don't know if it's this clip or the next clip, but I have a dude that built the good data centers that don't steal your resources and shit. And they just do it to save some money. They're doing it to save money. Yep, it is this one. Okay. Where are we at? Where are we at here? Here we go. Let's hear it from the man himself. This comes from Matt Baker. Why are data centers using so much water? Listen to an expert break it down.
33. My name is Doug Seavey. I live at 3392 64th Street, Halo, Iowa. I've called the mayor and suggested that I get put on some kind of a committee because I'm Halo's resident expert. I build data centers. I own data centers. I built the first private data center in the state of Iowa, and everything that Google is telling you is BS. I have a data center right now that's running in Iowa, and I have been there 14 years and have never used 1 gallon of water. What Google isn't telling you is they don't want to use the technology because it costs more. They're going to burn through the water, and when it's done, and they don't care. Then they'll put the money in. And so I can guarantee you, if you guys want to start a committee, I'll volunteer because I'm the expert. I build them. I'm working on one right now. I'm working on one in Milwaukee. I live here, and if I told you on the phone, I called you and talked to you, and I said, you should really let me help you. I never heard anything back. And I warned you, I said, my well goes dry. I'm coming after you because I know what's going on. And you can't do this. You guys have to say no water. They don't have to have it. I mean, to give you an idea, you people, how many people in here have heard of Unity Point Health? Okay? All right, I have 100% of their IT in my data center, and I've never used a gallon of water. And I'm the most efficient data center in the world. So this is all crap, and you guys don't want to listen. In fact, I called you and said, maybe we should talk. Never heard back from you. So if you guys want to put a committee together, you can call me. I'll tell you the truth, and I can explain everything to you how this works, because they're lying to you. Big time. There's absolutely no reason to use a gallon of water. And the same thing on the efficiency of the electricity. They're doing the cheapest way they can. All they want to do is get the gravy, and when it turns to shit, they're gone. Google is not our friend. So anybody wants to talk to me, I'll sit over here afterwards and I'll explain it to you. So if you would like, I would be more than happy to be on your committee to work on this because I am the expert. I build them. I know. Thanks.
There you go.
Thank you, Doug.
They could do it without using all your resources, but that wouldn't follow what they want to do to you. Okay? You knew it too. Okay, data center. This comes from the Hodge twins. Texas betrayal. Farmer donated 88 acres for a public park. City sold it to a data center for $10 million. The Bland family deeded the land specifically for kids to play. After ownership swapped, the city sold it off for an AI data center. They took land meant for children and turned it into corporate profit. Classic government greed. Turn Siri off. Here we go. Can't read my own handwriting. All right, this comes from Wall Street Apes on X. Apple is releasing an update to Siri that will allow their AI agent to read every part of your phone. This includes your messages, email, notes, files, photos, calendar, app content, and more. This is fully mass surveillance and data gathering. It'll even have access to your health data and location history. Just think U.S. government had a backdoor into the Siri AI system. This isn't something that's unlikely. They had a backdoor into old Twitter, and they have worked very closely with Apple in the past. Siri even came from the U.S. government from DARPA. Let's hear this guy's breakdown on it, huh?
Tax.
Well, not the whole thing, I
For
guess.
those who don't know, I work in IT during the day. That's my day job. Apple is going to release an AI agent and embed it into Siri. Basically giving Siri the kind of capabilities that ChatGPT or Claude has, right? The drawback is that it appears Apple is going to force your phone and all the information contained therein, all of it, your files, your contacts, your notes, your email, to be read by that AI agent. They're going to know all of your life so that you may have that embedded service within your phone. And there's a real danger that third parties may hack that capability to retrieve that information from your phone. The European Union was really concerned about this, so much so that they said, you're not deploying this to any European iPads or iPhones. Apple came back and said, all right, listen, we're going to put in place some sort of an intermediary agent, a third-party company that's going to sit in between your phone and us, so that AI is going to basically work in a sandbox, and the information is going to be limited, and it's going to work within those parameters. And even that, the European Union said, no, we don't want it. Europe is still thinking that it's still too dangerous for its citizens. Now, this is interesting. Number one, Apple is not offering the same option of a third-party mitigator, if you wish, to American users. I wonder why. But I personally am really...
so strongly recommend turning Siri off. I was half expecting her to answer here. Anyway, Home Depot. Phone. Here's what Home Depot is delivering for you. Let's see here. Yeah, next one here. From Jason Basler on Twitter X. Home Depot, the only place where buying a light bulb gets your face scanned like you're a suspect and your car's plates tracked like a fugitive. Facial recognition at checkout. Flat cameras in the lot. Boycott Home Depot. Vote with your wallet. Yep, so Home Depot allows the flock cameras to watch their parking lots and has facial recognition at checkout, which I covered dynamic pricing 2 weeks ago, which means that the prices you see on the tag when you go and grab your items may or may not be the same as when you go and check out based on your social credit score. I'll be paying out the ass for everything, it seems. Well, surveillance-ish related. It's kind of a subtopic here. But I'm going to cover the WikiLeaks Vault 7 pandemic section. Vault 7 is a major series of leaks published by WikiLeaks consisting of thousands of documents from the CIA's Center for Cyber Intelligence. The documents detail the agency's extensive cyber surveillance and hacking capabilities, tools, malware, 0 days, and operational techniques developed by branches like the Embedded Development Branch. Core revelations on capabilities, broad device and OS compromise. The CIA developed tools to hack a wide range of targets, including smartphones, which is Apple and Android, computers, Windows, Mac, and Linux, web browsers, Chrome, Firefox, Edge, Opera, smart TVs. Samsung TVs turned into listening devices via Weeping Angel with a fake off mode. Vehicles and cars, routers and network devices. Multiple Cisco implants for routers and switches, enabling persistent access, traffic snooping, DNS poisoning, etc. Specific tools, Umbrage, a collection of techniques and codes to mask attacks and make them appear to originate from foreign actors, such as Russia or China. Marble Framework, helped obfuscate malware to hinder forensic analysis and attribution. Fine Dining, decoy applications, modified VLC, games, office software like LibreOffice for on-site operatives to exfiltrate data via USB removable media while appearing legitimate. Privilege escalation exploits for Android and other platforms, implants for persistent access, data exfiltration, and remote control, including air-gapped network infiltration tools such as LAN attacks. 0 days and vulnerabilities. The CIA hoarded undisclosed vulnerabilities rather than always disclosing them promptly to vendors. Despite Obama-era commitments for responsible disclosure to U.S. companies, this included bypasses for numerous antivirus and security products. The release was one of the largest intelligence leaks in history. Concerns about digital privacy, the proliferation of cyber weapons, potential for other actors to reuse techniques. So, in the pandemic section exclusively, the pandemic section in Vault 7 refers to a specific CIA cyber tool, not anything related to biological whatever. How it works. It acts as a file system filter driver on an infected patient zero machine. When other computers on the network request to download files, programs from shared folders on the infected machine, the tool intercepts the traffic in transit. It replaces the legitimate file with a Trojanized, malware-laden version, up to 20 programs for targeted users while leaving the original file unchanged on the server. This allows stealthy lateral spread and infection across the network without altering the source files. What people are saying about it. Conspiracy. False flag attribution ops. The Umbrage library, which is code techniques stolen or mimicked from other actors like Russia and China, allegedly allows the CIA to launch attacks that look like they came from foreign adversaries. Some claim this was used in events like the 2016 DNC hacks to frame Russia. Russiagate. CIA lost control of weapons. The leaks proved the agency hoarded 0 days and malware that could proliferate to criminals, other nations, or terrorists once leaked. This fueled theories about cyber false flags or uncontrolled escalation. What did How many times have we heard that China was going to do a massive cyber attack? One of the most famous ones is Klaus Schwab on the WEF. A massive cyber attack will make COVID look like a mere inconvenience. Yeah, because they're planning it. By they, this is they. They are planning it to blame on somebody to throw us into a massive war. Insider versus foreign theft. Speculation that the leak, attributed to ex-CIA employee Joshua Schulte, was actually a foreign intelligence op rather than a whistleblower act. General deep state surveillance. Vault 7 validated long-standing claims of massive government hacking capabilities. Phones, TVs, routers, air-gap systems, leading some to say it proved conspiracy theorists right about ubiquitous spying. Conspiracy theorist. You're just a conspiracy theorist. Oh, right? Well, it seems like pretty much every fucking conspiracy theory I talk about just happens to come true. It's just a way to demonize the truth because we're ahead of the game. Okay? That's all it is. Oh, let's see. WikiLeaks. So, here's a little breakdown on that. They can probably do it better than I can.
Released thousands of documents and files that it says expose hacking tools used by the Central Intelligence Agency. The leaks purportedly show that the CIA is capable of hacking smartphones, computer operating systems, automobiles, messenger applications, and even internet-connected televisions. The series of files, dubbed Vault 7, consists of 8,761 documents and files allegedly from the CIA's Center for Cyber Intelligence. Though many of the tools detailed in the documents are the kind of things you'd expect from an intelligence agency, they provide.
Sorry.
They could hack the individuals they're spying on. Here's how they could work. Say CIA operatives are investigating a suspect in France we'll call John. According to the leaks, CIA hackers operate out of the U.S. consulate in Frankfurt, Germany, using it as a base to cover Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. From the confines of the consulate, CIA can track John's activities around France. The CIA purportedly has a few techniques it can use to hack versions of Apple's iOS, the mobile operating system used in iPhones. The WikiLeaks documents detail malware allegedly used as a hacking tool that appears to remain on an iPhone even after it has been rebooted, a technique known as persistence. To gain access to phones and other devices, the CIA would exploit zero-day bugs, previously unknown flaws in the operating system's code, that they would collect and store. If the CIA hacks John's phone, it can bypass the encryption of messenger apps like WhatsApp, Signal, Telegram, and Confide that John uses, and collect voice, audio, and messages before the applications encrypt John's text. To track his movements, the agency can activate the camera and microphone on John's phone without him knowing to retrieve his geolocation. Even if his cell phone is powered off, the documents describe how the CIA can hack other internet-connected devices to monitor John's activity. Working with British intelligence, the CIA developed an attack that can place Samsung smart TVs in a fake off mode. So while the TV appears turned off, in reality, it's functioning as a bug and recording these conversations in the living room. The CIA also apparently has the capability to target John's wireless internet router to connect to his infected computer or access files. American CIA hackers can also allegedly leave false breadcrumbs to mask the operation's fingerprints and make it appear that it was carried out by another country. That can be done by inserting malware components from a known Chinese, Russian, or Iranian hacking operation, for example, into a U.S. one. There's evidence the CIA has been collecting malware components known to work in overseas cyber attack operations. CIA declined to comment, quote, on the authenticity or content
of course they won't comment.
Documents, end quote. But if authenticated, the trove would be one of the biggest breaches in the spy agency's history. The spokesman for the White House also declined to comment. The extent of the impact on U.S. security remains to be seen. Apple, Microsoft, and Alphabet Inc.'s Google have all said in statements that they've already addressed some of the vulnerabilities, though their investigations were continuing.
All right.
Yes, MK Ultra never really ended, and it's instead been upgraded into your AirPods.
Right. So with that, let's get into
by Apple to include EEG signal tracking within their new AirPod structure.
our health section, which I'll start with our ongoing series of using insects and other bioweapons against us. Let's see here. Yeah. I don't have a fun video for this one, but alright, let's go here. Alright. Project 112 was a classified U.S. Department of Defense program from 1962 to 1973 that involved biological and chemical warfare vulnerability testing. It aimed to assess how U.S. forces, ships, and equipment would hold up against potential enemy chemical or biological attacks during the Cold War and to develop defensive measures. Let's get that background there. There we go. It was authorized under Secretary of Defense Robert McNamara as part of a broader review of U.S. military capabilities. The Deseret Test Center at Fort Douglas, Utah, managed the tests, which included both land-based experiments and sea-based ones known as Project Shad. Yeah. Scope. DoD planned 134 tests. About 4650 were conducted, with many others canceled. Locations included remote areas in Alaska, Hawaii, the Panama Canal Zone,